I made $5,000 in just 2 hours from day trading, and that too after being down $1,300 on GameStop right off the market open. And in this video, I will be showing you guys exactly how I was able to make approximately the average monthly salary in the US from day trading in just 2 hours, which is amazing. My first trade off the open on this day was on GME because GME released the news the prior day after the market closed that they are getting into the NFT and crypto world, which is the hot sector at the moment. We saw the reaction of the news in the after hours the prior day. It broke the 160 critical resistance in the after hours session. On the following day in the pre-market, GME made a pre-market high of around $164 level. So my play was that if we get a pullback to around 160, which is a critical resistance, that might act as a support. Now I would take my position towards the upside for the break of pre-market high that was around 164 and 165. If you guys would like access to my daily game plan, learn from me and other members in our community because they are killing it every single day. So if you guys want to be part of our Discord group, the link will be in the description box below. We also have a New Year discount code at the moment that is only valid for the next 2 days. So this is the perfect opportunity to make use of it. This is the 1 minute chart of GameStop from 7th of Jan 2022. You guys can see in the pre-market session, GameStop made a pre-market high of $164 level. Right at the market open, this is 9:30 AM, the first minute of market open. It dipped to $155 level around, and that dip was bought back up with huge bullish wick towards the upside. On the next minute, when I saw that VWAP is holding, I entered my calls position on this candle. On the next minute, when it made a new low of the day, because that was my stop loss, I got stopped out with a loss of around $1,300. Let's now take a look at the recording of my entries and exits. So here's the recording of my trade on GameStop. You guys can see that it dipped to $155 level right at the market open. That dip was getting bought back up. We also had 160 critical level on top of us. So just before the break of 160, I placed my order to get filled. I got filled 30 contracts. I'm trading 165 calls, same week expiry contracts, and my fill price was 5.10. Ignore these 2 orders on SPX because I was just trying out my hotkeys, and you guys can even see that these orders were before 9:30 AM. And as I mentioned that my stop loss on this trade is the break of low of the day. I was expecting to lose around $2,000 to $3,000 on this trade because I know that the IV on GameStop is very high. If you guys focus right here, the IV was around 284%. So before placing my order of 30 contracts, I expected to lose around $2,000 to $3,000 on this trade if it breaks the low of the day. But if it moves in my favor and if it breaks 165 towards the upside, this could have easily been a $5,000 plus trade in my favor. So that is the risk to reward I had in my mind, losing around $2,000 to $3,000 with a potential profit target of $5,000 plus. But when GameStop made a new low of the day at the break of 155 towards the downside, I got stopped out on this trade and my fill price was 4.65. Overall on this trade, I lost around $1,300, which is not that bad because you guys know, as I just mentioned, I was expecting to lose around $2,000 to $3,000 on this trade, but I was able to exit this trade with a loss of only $1,300, which is not that bad. Before we jump on to my next trade, I would really appreciate a thumbs up to this video because it helps out the channel a lot to reach new traders out there. Subscribe to my channel if you are new here and hit the bell notification to learn more about day trading and my journey as a day trader. After my loss on GME, I took a few scalps on SPX, that is the S&P 500 index, and I was green for the day. I was green around $2,000 for the day, so I had the cushion to risk my money on this Tesla trade because this was a really good trade with a very good risk to reward, which I would like to break down in this video. Let's take a look at the daily chart of Tesla. Up until 4-5 days ago, Tesla was all set to make a new all-time high. You guys can see right here, we had a crazy push towards the upside, but because market also sold off recently, Tesla got rejected very heavily. On this day, I was just watching the break of yesterday's low, that is the prior day low or the prior day high. For upside, prior day high; for downside, prior day low. I was watching Tesla for both towards the upside and towards the downside because this is a momentum stock. It's already very beaten down on the daily, so we might see a push towards the upside, a break above this trend line again, or if the market sells off, we might even test the yesterday low and then test the $1,000 level, which is a critical support on Tesla. This is the 1 minute chart of Tesla from 7th of Jan 2022, and let's break down on what happened before my entry on this trade on this stock. Tesla made a double top just around the high of the day, and then it continued to sell off, and the market was also selling off on this day. It made a quick flag pattern just before the low of the day right here, just before the break of low of the day. Then it made another flag pattern right here, continued to sell off, but I wasn't able to catch any of these patterns because I was trading SPX. As I mentioned, I was red for the day on GME. I was able to grab a few good opportunities on the overall market that made me green for the day. Now, because I was green for the day because of SPX and the overall market, that gave me the confidence and the cushion to capitalize on this trade on Tesla that we will be discussing, making $5,000. I missed this move towards the downside, but then it made a new low of the day right here. After making a low of the day, it was making a flag pattern. You guys can see Tesla was holding this trend line towards the downside. Towards the upside, it was holding this trend line. My entry on my puts position on this trade was at 11:12 a.m. I entered right here when Tesla was around $1,033 level, with the stop loss at the hold and break of $1,035 towards the upside. You guys can see after my entry, yes, it broke $1,035 briefly, but it never closed above $1,035, so it gave me the confidence to hold on to my trade, and it was also holding the 9 and the 20 EMA nicely on the 1 minute chart. So if you look at risk to reward, my entry was around $1,033 with the stop loss at $1,036. That means I'm giving it $3 to go against me, and then I caught this $10 move in my favor. I caught the break towards the downside, and my last partial was around $1,024. That means I caught $10 move in my favor by only risking around $3 on the underlying asset, that is the stock price of Tesla. I will post a screenshot of my fills right at the top so you guys can see that I entered 30 contracts. I'm trading 1,025 puts, same day expiry contracts at 11:12 a.m. with the stop loss above 1,036, 1,035. It never reached my stop loss, it never closed above my stop loss, and then I was able to grab this move towards the downside. The volume also increased on the break with the overall market also selling off. I continued to take my partials right around the bottom of the day, around the low of the day. My last partial was around 1,024 and the fill price was 10.09. That means on my last partial I made around 30 to 40% on one contract, which is amazing. Now if I go back and review this trade, and if you guys take a look at my entries and exits right at the top, you guys can see that I took my first 20 contracts out, 66% of my position, right when I got the first break at 11:16 a.m. My review would be that my entry was really good, the risk to reward was pretty awesome, but I could have held those 20 contracts for a bigger move towards the downside, or maybe I could have taken 10 contracts out instead of 20 contracts because I was a bit too impatient with my position. If I would have held those contracts for a bigger move in my favor and maybe taken my partials on the next minute because I had no reason to exit, this could have been a much better trade. And I think the reason is because I was trading the same day expiry contracts and they can be very, very volatile. Nevertheless, the risk to reward was pretty good. I'm happy with this trade, and overall I made around $3,800 on this trade with the hold time of around 5 minutes, which is amazing. When everything was said and done, let's now take a look at my P&L. As you guys can see, I lost around $1,300 on my GME trade that I took right off the market open. I was able to recover that loss on SPX towards the upside and SPX towards the downside, so I traded the overall market both towards the upside and towards the downside. That gave me the confidence and the cushion to capitalize on my Tesla trade, 1,025 puts, making $3,700 on that trade. Overall ending the day with $4,500 in the green, that too within the first 2 hours of market open, which is amazing. That's it guys, but before you go, make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification because I'm releasing 2 to 3 new videos on day trading and my journey as a day trader every single week. Also follow me on Instagram for a lot of behind the scenes of a day trader, my red days, my green days, and a lot of trading motivation as well. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.